Hey guys, a pre-recorded match. I'm playing against Dave Fitz. He's playing as England, and we're playing on Prairie. And yeah, I just played this match without recording it live. I'm just coming back to do a recording on it. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like playing without recording. I don't know. Sometimes I feel when I'm talking and I'm playing, I play worse, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a practice thing. So Prairie, dropping immediately on this wood line. Drop our Ubu. Just going to just do our standard age up build. We are going around on a corner here just so you guys can see our vision for scouting. And yeah, we're just going to come back and drop off before the 1 minute mark. Make sure our villagers don't um, finish out the sheep. I don't know how I just selected that sheep carcass to all those villagers, but I managed to. And you guys can see just in terms of timing, kind of that you need to be at around the 1 minute mark dropping off your sheep. If you don't drop off your initial sheep. So we're looking at like 1 minute 10. And then I'm selecting villagers to kill the sheep so there isn't too much idle time on these villagers so they don't all group up on one sheep. But you're looking around 105, 110, you need to be back dropping off sheep. We'll just look at his build real quick. He's looking like a fast age up. He's nobody on wood. No farms are going down. And he's floating his 100 wood. So definitely not the most optimal build, I would say, on his part. He's collecting sheep. But he needs to come back to his base here soon because he's going to be running out of sheep shortly, I feel like. I can't select a sheep carcass. There we go. Okay, he's still got a full carcass. He's got some time, so he's okay. He'll be fine. And he's got another 11 sheep, soon to be 13, 15. So he's got a really good sheep pawn. Behind this, we're scouting to the north. And we picked up a couple sheep here. We're picking up some more here. And we're just, we've basically scouted our half of the map. And I feel like he's probably scouted his half. A little bit of idle time here by his scout is not good. And it looks like his villagers are finishing up at least 2 more carcasses. So yeah, I don't know how I clicked that one sheep carcass earlier, but anywho. So he's dropped off, so he's not going to have idle time on his villagers, and he's dropping his council hall now. So, and we're also dropping our silver tree. One difference you can tell in our build is he's only got one villager on his council hall. This is typically a fast castle play when they're only got one guy going. But this fast castle play is usually done with farms and not the sheep. Since there are so many sheep on prairie, I can see why he's doing perhaps not going onto the sheep. Either way, kind of an interesting fast castle. I don't think I've ever seen one quite like this, but it's definitely viable, I guess. Most people usually go 2 builders though. Anyways, we are scouting around his base now, trying to get some vision. If we can see, we haven't spotted his base yet. Behind this, we are dropping silver tree. So against England, I think it's pretty good move to go silver tree. Kind of force them to be the aggressor. Since they have slow-moving armies, it is kind of in your favor to make them aggress, as well as besides raiding and stuff. If you can manage raids against their slow armies, typically their slow armies, it usually comes out in your favor. Drop the speed bonus, and yeah, all we know so far really is just TC. We're expecting a slow age up, since most people go fast castle, but he wasn't on his stone, so that's why we're kind of expecting it. We do see 3 on gold, so that's kind of like the castle play. And here we see his council hall tapping up. I didn't realize how slow it was tapping up. He has put a second villager on it. I think after we aged up, he kind of saw that. We spent our first 150 wood, not on a trader where we messed up. Sometimes you want to drop it first on an military production building and then go into traders. It's impressive how long that 150 wood sometimes takes to build up. We do see 1 more sheep, and we're going to head over. So we've got a pretty good idea to lay out of his base now. Kind of a forward gold, stone on the side, and the small wood line. That's one thing I do like about Prairie, that there are small wood lines. It is that they have to transition. I guess one thing that could be changed to make Prairie even a better map, I think, would be reduce the amount of sheep on the field to pick up. Just keep normal amount of sheep. Um, keep large deer patches. I think that would be kind of cool. It would be, I guess, Roos favorite. A little bit more Roos favorite that way, but the small wood lines also, kind of would mess with him. But here we've got a horseman. We try to keep up with his scout, and for whatever reason, our horseman couldn't keep up with his scout. They just like stopped attacking. That was a really kind of a weird little detail. Behind this, we're dropping a range. We've got a horseman, and we don't have vision here. We're sending a con to deal with this wolf that's hitting our guys, and he's looking to castle. It looks like, or at least it was looking like he was going for a fast castle because that's where he dropped his cancel off. But since he saw the silver tree, it looks like he's gonna go aggression now. So he's dropped a barracks. He's making spearmen and no longbowmen yet. So he saw the stable. He saw the silver tree. We're dropping our blacksmith now so we can get our upgrades, which can be pretty key. And yeah, he's going military, which is very interesting. He's dropping a tower for protection. He's expecting the raids. Pushing against England, even in feudal age, is usually. I mean, sometimes you get some good harassment. Usually not worth it with their villagers being able to do so much damage with their bows. If someone's a good microer, those villagers are going to be doing a bunch of damage, so it's usually not worth it. We are getting our iron undermesh right now. Eco-wise, we are pulling ahead now, even though we are Mongols with the trade deal. We're getting 69 gold, so I mean that's blessed either way. Yeah, 69 gold consistent, and we're up to 5 traders. So we're trading behind this. We're getting this, and I kind of miss microed here. I'm rallying villagers onto food here. I'm not sure at what point, but I accidentally sent my my villagers from food and started rallying them onto the wood line because we got 13 on wood, which is a good amount, and I don't. That's like 13, 15, like right around 15ish. You want to be plus or minus a couple, so you can keep production going and drop infrastructure at the same time. Behind this, we've got horsemen kind of scouting out this northern side of the map as well as our scout, and he's just making some spearmen. He's not super hard committing. He's looking to go castle. Like he's at castle basically at this point. He just needs some more food. And we're pretty far from castle. We've committed into military production. We're committed into trade and infrastructure. And these 8 military units that we've made are actually pretty expensive. They're all cav versus his Earl infantry. And he's committing into more army. So he was actually looking to castle up, and I think that might have been a mistake in his part. He could have castled. It might have been sitting prettier with the castle timing that he had. He had a pretty good castle timing because I was just booming. I want him to come push us. And if you can see our vision, we've got vision on this side. We got a bunch of horsemen over here, just kind of checking out, making sure he doesn't push us there. And then, yeah, our Khan was just, he picked up a couple of sheep, I think. Yeah, he's got it out that southern side for us, which is still needed scouting. Got one more sheep, and he's dropping that off. And, we're doing our best to keep our wood count, our food down, everything down. And he's kind of floating food in gold, which kind of is just like reminiscent of a push. But what he's doing is building men-at-arms. So this is really atypical for an English player. And I was actually surprised by his push that he does when he does push me, because I wasn't expecting men-at-arms at all. It's just not what you usually see from England. Not until Castle or Imp, that is. You usually don't see it feudal or Dark Age. I mean, people do it and it happens, but it's usually not what you see. But yeah, again, he's floating a bunch of food and gold, and we're trying to keep our resources pretty much well spent throughout this. And our wood, we're up to 14 on wood. That's not too bad. I think we still had. Yeah, we're sending one villager just drop a tower up here, and he's starting to push us now. So here you can see his army. Let's select all of these guys. 2 longbowmen, 8 swordsmen, and a spearman. So we do see him. We do have our scout. It sees him, so we're just going to fall back. We see the spearman. We did basically, we do this. We do a shift, a box to select and to see what he has. I see it's mostly men-at-arms, spearmen, and longbow. So really this army can get really beat up with Mangadai. And we don't have a lot of Mangadai. We've only got about 4. So now all of a sudden we're queuing up double production Mangadai and just regular horsemen. And we're just falling back a little bit to kind of protect our trade line if they push us. This tower is going to get finished. We're going to drop another tower, and behind this, now because of that little bit of aggression, all of a sudden you can see our resources starting to float a little bit. We're dropping a pasture, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. You know, I see he's got an army, and he's got a decent-sized army. He has a big enough army to push us. He's got the resources for castle here, so that he could definitely push us if he wants to. And his army looks like it fell back. Yeah, and he's going up for castle now. He's going up with 8. And so behind this, I didn't want to get caught with my pants down. I'm just going to keep booming. I'm going to get to castle when I get to castle. And I didn't want to get caught with a small army and get my trade line shut down. He's got his army split defending the back of his base. He's just playing defensively as well. As an English player, it's pretty atypical. Or typical, not atypical. When you try to catch up to the scout, it's just not happening with the Manga Die. There's just no way. So we do. I think we eventually do cancel this peel back. I didn't want to run into an army. So again, behind this, we're still producing military units. We're not looking to. I'm looking to castle, but not. I'm in no rush. I'm dropping more infrastructure. I want to make sure all my infrastructure is ready. I want to be ready to withstand the push if he does push me. And that's kind of what I was just worried about mostly. More than say a castle getting out teched. So I see him go up to castle, and at this point, now I know. Oh, okay, he's in castle. I need to be going for castle. So, again, our wood is starting to run sparse over here. We pulled some villagers to drop a gur. We're taking more villagers to drop another gur over here, and we're just spreading out our wood villagers to start kind of gathering around the map in different spots. And we still have our army set up, and he is starting to push us, and he's getting his veteran spearmen first, surprisingly enough. 12 villagers up here going to another wood line. And a balanced army, 4 longbows. They're balanced little armies, but they're not very big. And then a big difference is in... It doesn't say military army value. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so you can see my army value is more expensive than an army. Even though it's a bit smaller, it's a more expensive army. So we're a little bit behind his timing up, but we're tapping up with the curl time now. And let's just go into our vision so you guys can see how we kind of react here. We have our army kind of spread out. Stables are dropping. We have here, and we were gonna go raid him with these manga die around the back, and we don't end up getting a very good raid. We see these towers over here, so he can kind of see us. That little fire is going off, so that means he can go after us, and we're just gonna bring our cav over. We see this army. You see that there's longbows over here, so we're gonna go after the longbows first. This army that he has. Again, 4 spearmen, 4 men-at-arms. It's a little bit rough with the spearmen, but it's a winnable fight. It's going to be kind of an attrition-y fight. We're going to lose some guys here, but we can 100% win this, even though it's not necessarily a favored matchup. And we're just running around the back here, trying to see where we can get some picks, trying to catch him transitioning on gold. And his guys were kind of picking up our villagers here. We still need to get upgrades. Our villagers are transitioned over here. And Kurotai's over here needs to start moving over as well. Infrastructure, we're up to 2 ranges, still 4 stables, so we're floating wood again, and we've got to start using that. But we do end up cleaning this up here with, a few losses to our cav, but not too bad. We see that he had this, we see this monk as well going for the relics, so we're going to go for this pick. But we see that he's got his next goal basically secured, and his second TC is here, so... we know it's going to be a little bit of an issue, but we're going to be able to deal with it. We've lost a little bit of eco, but again, since we are going trade boom, we're going to be okay. One big thing is we haven't been consistent with our trader production. We've let it fall off a little bit, so that is going to affect us a little bit. And we are dropping more traders on. We do kill a couple of vills here. 3 villagers we pick off. We do lose... we don't actually lose a manga dive, which is surprising enough, we are close to. And our manga die production, veteran manga die is coming through, as well as red rivets. And we see this army again, we kind of shift click and we look at it. We see that's kind of a balanced army, a lot of men-at-arms, a few spears, some archers. So again, we're building more army, we're getting our knights going. All 3 stables. I said 4 stables earlier. All 3 stables are going, both ranges are going. Both ranges are going. And we are, again, floating a little bit of resources. We've dropped our prayer tent. We're going to start picking up relics. and we dropped a Kurultai up here front. Veteran Mangudai. I really should have sent my my Mangudai up front here, because this was just a matter of time for him to send over this monk. And he hasn't sent one yet. Does have a forward army, but it was just so close to his base in this army, I figured that this relic was kind of lost. I might have been able to contest it a little bit better with my army right here, and just kind of did a quick harass and drop out. Again, it might have just incentivized him to push out more, so we weren't too worried about it. Again, he's got a bigger armor, just units-wise, but we've got a better army in terms of cost, I guess. Silver Tree's still going. Again, we're only up to 18 traders. Again, we lost a couple, and we also didn't fully commit to this properly. We're going over to go see this monk. We do see this army here, and we just fall back. They did catch us kind of in mid-play, so kind of unfortunate, because we could have kept running past this army and killed that monk. We're kind of healing up, but behind this we are going to get a good raid. We've got 15, mixed Cavan Knights to start raiding. We've got monks going to pick up these 2-3 relics, so we're going to end up at the end of the day with 1 relic lead. We sent these guys down to make sure that this relic wasn't being picked up yet. Kurultai is moving forward a little bit, and we're bringing our Mangudai forward. We do see his armies coming up, so we're just going to fall back. We did pick up the scout, which is kind of what we were initially going for, so we didn't want to engage in anything too hard. We are still building units, and you can see that we're floating a bunch of food at this point. And resources in general, we're floating a bunch. So this, again, just a lapse in macro. And these kind of things actually are pretty costly. These are like 10-15 seconds of lapse in macro, where I could have been building units. And part of it was not being sure, I guess, of what to build. But yeah, I could have had another set of units out at this point. One plus side is we're up to 4 stables and 3 ranges. So we've got a pretty good army in that sense. We're hitting the back of his farm here. We're going to take down this tower real quick, because just for future raids, it's going to be nice getting rid of this tower. It also gets rid of vision. And we kill a villager, kill a man-at-arms. We lose 1 knight, I believe. Yeah, that's a knight. So we just kind of fall back. And the big thing is we're pulling this army. So our guys have pulled this big army, and he is kind of sends forward a small army. We're able to pick them off with our Mangudai pretty handily. And behind this, we're sending another group of 6 knights forward to kind of hit his base. His army was chasing us. We double back, and we fall back here. And we knew that we've got this, what is this, like 13, 24, 25, 26, 25-ish units. So like half his army is over here chasing these knights. And we're going to get a raid now on his main base with these 6 knights, which isn't a huge number, it's just a small amount. And while he's getting raided over here, his army is chasing us here. We're able to kill this monk that was picking up this relic, which is pretty big. We have our monk over here somewhere. Yeah, there he is. And behind this, we've killed a bunch of villagers here with our Mangudai. So we're going to fall back with our Mangudai now that we lost 4 of them, but we killed a whole bunch of villagers there. We killed like 10, 15 villagers, I want to say, if not more. Maybe like 20 villagers. Yeah, I think we killed probably around 20 villagers there. And behind this, our knights are raiding his base. He's got idle time going on. And we've been able to kind of dodge this big army here. So we haven't been able to kill, I think, any of these guys. Let's see. We haven't been able to kill a couple. So 13, 24, 25. No, never mind. We haven't. We still got 25. We haven't killed any one of them, but we've occupied half of his army on the other side of the map, where the majority of our army is doing. We're able to do a lot of damage here. And honestly, if we had kept our Mangudai a little bit closer, we would have seen his army rotating. So it's a little bit of a mistake getting this scared with our Mangudai and not using them a little bit closer. Just to check our base again, we're up to 27. We're building more units to go raid. Still 3 ranges, 5 stables, another stable, and we're dropping a siege workshop. I didn't want to get this was usually happens. I get a late siege transition, and then I get kind of wrecked. There's armies here, a bunch of crossbows, so we just kind of have to fall back and retreat here. If you guys can see here, we got a ton of army here. This is like, yeah, that's all of them. So 13 plus 6, plus these guys. So he's got almost his entire army over here. Let's just see. I lose a couple more horsemen, a couple knights. I'm losing guys here because of this cutbacks. He does an okay job of closing us off. But look at his army. He's got 21, 30, 33 of his 49. So 2/3 of his army is here. And now I'm going to hit the front of his base. I've got 3 knights. Like, he's got 30 units, 33 units. 2/3 of his army distracted by basically these guys. I'm just running around. They've killed a tower, which helps for vision, killed one villager, and they haven't gotten a lot of worth, but the biggest worth is that they're distracting 2/3 of his army. And as England, you definitely can't do that. And now he's going to get hit with 9 horses in the front, and I am bringing my Mangudai forward here in the front as well, which is 20 of them. And behind this, we are bringing 4 knights, and we've got 5 stables queued, knights as well. And we're doing okay with our gold is starting to get a little bit heavy because of the trade, and we have an Ubu set up over here. We finished this wood line. Villagers are rotating to another wood line, drop a tower. So we're kind of setting up to be able to move this trade line over a little bit as well. Let's go play again. So yeah, another raid's hitting the front here. He's losing more villagers. He pulls his villagers back here, and he GG's because he knows his entire army is pretty much out of place. And these knights are going to do a bunch of work. Idle him again, and basically these 4 knights are going to be able to burn this tower down, and we're going to be able to take all of this forward eco as well as this these houses and stuff down. And we will probably move up with the Kurultai after this. So just an example of what we can do, or what you can do with against England. Trade boom, and if they go passive like that, that's ideal. If they go aggressive, it's definitely a little bit more difficult, and you need to make sure that you're doing a good job. Like, there was those times when I was floating a bunch of, like, 1,000 resources, and I wasn't making units. Those times you just be using those units, build units constantly. Especially if you're trade booming, you're going to get the castle. You're going to get the castle whenever you want to within a minute. So if you get late on the tech up, it's not end of the world. The big thing is you need to have enough army to be able to fight any push that he does. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.